Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to our first awards presentation for 2023. And this is for the category Light. So we've got a full complement of winners all waiting to talk to us, along with Jari and Kaisa, of course. And we'll get to that after the intro. So stick around and we'll get chatting and let you know who the winners are after this. Good evening. And how are we?
Good evening.
Do you like my blues? Did you like my blues intro?
Yes, yeah, that was wonderful. Yeah.
Well, I thought blues, light. Yeah, no. Or did I record it myself? No, unfortunately not. No. It's not one of my skills, I'm afraid.
No, but very impressive. Very nice.
Exactly. So anyway, how are you both? Hope you're well.
Very good. Yes. Yeah.
Good. Busy. It's season in Finland.
Yes, I was going to say you've been a bit busy, haven't you?
Yeah. So sorry for all that this announcement is so late. I think we should have announced this a little bit earlier, but we have been so busy with the tours in Finland that.
Yeah,
exactly. And obviously, you know, we'll talk about the sponsorship, you know, in a little while and the prize for gold. But that's the reason I wanted you to come in and co-host this, obviously, as sort of sponsoring the category, because you can come and talk a little bit about, you know, what you've offered as for the gold award prize winner. So which is very generous of you, I have to say. So thank you for that. But no, I mean, light it's one of my favorite categories I have. Well, they're all my favorites. It's, light is one of those ones that I guess the brief is so broad that you get some really exciting entries, some very, very different entries, and it's a joy to actually go through the submissions. And it was wonderful again, wasn't it?
It was, and light is such an important part of photography, you know. So it is important, and it can make picture very beautiful and artistic, you know, if you have a beautiful light on it, and it's so important.
Yeah, well, there's so many ways you can use it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Yeah, and in fact, Josh and I did a podcast. The last podcast was how we sort of use light ourselves, you know, in our own photography. So if you haven't listened to the podcast, go and check it out, because we've done 10 episodes now. So that's been going quite well. I've had some lovely comments from people, so thank you for those. But if you haven't listened, then head on to the website. It's under the community tab, or I think you can find it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or whatever they're called now, and that sort of thing. So yeah, anyway, I won't waffle on about that, because it's not about that tonight. It's all about our winners. So I tell you what, let's crack on, shall we? And as usual, we like to bring on the Young Award winner first, and it's a young man we've spoken to before. He's done very well.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's a lovely picture. So let me play the video and let me bring him on. So Young Award winner, get ready. We're just about to talk to you. Hopefully, we have problems with his mic on his thing, but hopefully we've fixed those. So we'll be able to hear him loud and clear. So anyway, Young Award winner for the light category this year is. John Tup. Hello. How are you? You well?
I'm good, but feel sleepy now.
It's very, very early in the morning for you, isn't it? Tell people what time it is in Thailand.
1
o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's good new effort. Day now.
Good effort. That's why we thought we'd bring you on first. Ah, dear. So we had Tomasz Beatrix judged the Young Award, and you'll remember Tomasz obviously from because he did very, very well in the first year that we ran the competition, and he's done very, very well in Bird Photographer of the Year, and I think Wildlife Photographer of the Year as well. A very, very talented chap. So he's come on, and he's basically spearheading the Young Award judging. So he chose this picture, but I'm going to share it with everybody again. And Jari and Kaisa, let's just have a quick chat about it, because I'm always blown away by the talent of the the young entries that we get, and these kids. They're just amazing. They've got no, they don't have any rules, do they? But let me just share my screen with everybody. So let's just share the screen. Let's do that one. Look at that. How slick is that? I mean, this is the very essence of light, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just love the silhouette in this, and I just love the textures of whatever it's sitting on, whatever tree it's sitting on. I just love that little band of light through the middle, and then you've got the darker, the darker bands top and bottom, just framing it so beautifully. And I think that's what made it stand out to Tomasz. So yeah, fantastic picture.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jari.
Yeah. Congratulations, John. This is wonderful situation. Well seen situation. I don't know what is the species in the picture, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There's such a beautiful picture. I mean, this plant where the bird is on, it makes it very graphic. There's something really, really lovely in this image. It's it's lovely. Do you know? Well, what is the species? Can you tell us what species is there?
Species. This bird, right?
Bird, yeah.
Yeah, the bird, yeah.
Bird.
It's called what? Asian golden weaver, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something I'd like to see. that's always the problem with the silhouette, though, isn't it? You don't have, you lose all the all the diagnostic detail. Unless it's a bird with a very distinctive shape.
Yeah, when we think about photography and artistic photography, we don't need to know exactly the species. It's not that important. I mean, I do like the graphical part of the picture and the silhouette pictures always. I mean, it's a so different photography than what we normally see.
Yeah, no, it's a wonderful image. I said we had some really, really good young entries. I'm always blown away by the standard of them. I said, you just don't have any rules. It's break them. I just it's very, very refreshing. I love it. So, John, tell us a bit about a bit more about the image, how you took it, if you can.
Oh, okay. In this picture, it's cloudy day. So when the sun set, the cloud blocking the sun. But there was a small gap in the sky with the golden light. Yeah, in this picture. It's very nice place. So I'm looking for some angle with some subject to shoot. And I found this branch with the silhouettes. I think it's really nice pattern. And suddenly, this bird come and I shoot it.
Yeah, I think that's really good that on a cloudy day you're still looking for opportunities, and you recognize those sort of nice patterns of the of the tree or the shrub that it's on, and you're using that to frame and add interest in the picture. I think that's really, really clever, and that shows the brain of a really good photographer when you see those elements and you put them together in this way. I think that's it's fantastic image. Yeah, it's a very, very well done. You're one to watch for the future, that is for sure, because you've been doing very well in this competition. So yeah, give you a few more years. I'm a bit like, but I remember looking at Tomasz's work when I first came across him, a few years ago, and how he's progressed as a photographer and the things that he's doing. And I think that's there's a similar path here for you and some of the other people that have done well in the competition as well. I see similarities in the way that you work and the ideas that you come up with. So yeah, this is fantastic. So keep up the good work. Keep up the good work. It's amazing.
Thank you very much.
Jomtup, thank you very much for the effort of coming on. Being so early in the morning for you. It's really appreciated. I think we probably better let you go and get some sleep. If there's anybody that wants to make any comments in the chat, then do so, and I'll read them out to the photographers as we go through. Anyway, Lawrence Doherty says hi. So hi, Lawrence. I'll catch up with some comments as we go through. But Jomtup, thank you very much. For the time and working through the audio issues that we had. Fortunately, we managed to sort those out before we came on air, so that's always good. And no doubt we'll be talking to you again. I'm sure you keep on coming up with images like this, so keep up the good work. You're turning out some really, really lovely stuff. As 2 or 3 people from Thailand have been exceptional work. So fantastic stuff.
Thank you very much.
So lovely to talk to you. Let's stop sharing the screen for a second and bring you up large. So thank you very much, Jomtup. And I said, I'm no doubt we will talk to you again soon.
Thank you and congratulations.
Yeah, and sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams.
Jomtup, thank you very much, and I will talk to you again soon, no doubt.
Okay, bye.
Okay,
bye.
Wow. Yeah, amazing, isn't it?
That is lovely image, actually. Really, really nice pattern on that vegetation.
Fantastic, isn't it? And to be able to see that, I think it's a sign of a really good photographer with a really good eye when you start putting things like that together. So fantastic. Right, we're going to do things a little bit back to front, actually, because I know our Gold Award winner is a little bit short on time. So we're going to do gold first, so I need to let me just line up the right video because I had them all in order. And of course now they're not. And we'll get on to talk about Gold Award because obviously you've sponsored this, so we'll get on. We'll talk about what you've offered and the prize and everything when we bring the winner on. But anyway, so our Gold Award winner for Light this year is Irma.
Hi. Hello.
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 You're getting very practiced at this, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. For those that maybe haven't seen the presentations before, Irma's been on a couple of times, haven't you? Been doing very, very well in the competition.
Yes,
last year. Last year in particular.
And it's starting very good because it's the first category.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, you're on a roll
when the
already.
Started good. It's a good starting.
You're on a roll already. Let me just share the screen. We'll bring your picture up. And then where's the screen gone? Oh, where's my screen? I said professional as always. Right, here we go. You can tell I haven't done one of these for a while. Kaisa, what's so special about this image?
Well, I really like the way the light is handled in this picture because, the category is light and this is artistic picture. It's really presenting the artistic way of handling light. And for me, I mean, this is simple. It's not a silhouette, but it's kind of orange and black anyway. So it's really simple graphical picture. And I do love the graphical pictures.
Yeah. Jari?
Thank you.
Yes, congratulations, Irma. Again, this is lovely. This is such a beautiful picture.
Yes, last year it was the second my flowers. If you remember,
Yeah.
We still remember that. It was really, really lovely.
It was beautiful
Yes.
picture.
Yes.
Yes,
and of course the cormorant as well. I can't
yes,
forget the cormorant from last year.
Oh yes, cormorants. It's polka dot.
Yeah.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was the grand prize in the month. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So Irma, tell us a little bit about this picture. I take it is this Bensay's hide that you took this from?
I take this picture in height during the night, but in the night usually the birds relaxing because they hunting in the day. But sometimes come in front of the hide. Sometimes no any bird. Sometimes come wander, staying, not moving, not make anything, only staying 1 hour there, not make anything. We spend a lot of nights in this hide, and it was on the back some light, and for is the backlight, and this gray heron, it's starting to walk very slowly, and I like to take a big artistic photo, and I try to use the long exposition.
Oops.
Oops,
Did we lose?
Yeah, we've lost her. Yeah, we've lost her. I think. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
we lost you a bit there, Irma. Do you want to repeat that last sort of 10 seconds or so?
Okay. This is only one bird, but they walking very slowly, and I use the long exposition. Yes, I like to. I try to make a bit different artistic photo, and it's not easy because it's sometimes moving. It's not good for long exposition, but in this picture, it was okay because one bird, but in some part it's you can see the head, and I think for me.
So basically, what it's doing is you've taken a long exposure, and this is the sun, right? This is lit by the sun rising.
No sun, no, because it was during the night.
All right, so you got flashes.
This is it was some fixed light on the in front of the hide.
Okay, so what it's doing is if people know how herons walk, I can see how this image has occurred now, because of how the heron walks. So it's walking forward, then it's stopping, which is why you're getting that the sort of the exposure of the outline of the bird again, and then you're getting the movement as it takes another step forward, and then it stops again. So it's allowing these these outlines to be recorded.
But in this case, I make a lot of picture, but it's possible from 2,000-3,000 only one. It's good with this technique.
We know those.
With the long exposition, it's not easy to take a good picture. But I like to use the long exposition, usually with the birds, because I like when the example flying. It's a very nice with long exposition.
Yeah. No, I tell you, it's a really this is something we've talked about before, obviously, with these sort of long exposure shots that, most of them will end up with a, delete button, but every now and again you get something that's really remarkable and so different. And that's what sort of, I think, artistic photography and competition photography is all about. It's about showing people something a little different and having a different approach to your subject. So, and this is what this shows. So this is brilliant. I'm really glad you explained to everybody how you actually got this shot, because I wondered whether it was a strobe or what you'd done to get this. But now it makes complete and utter sense, the way you've described it, and myself knowing how a heron moves, having seen them obviously plenty of times myself, and having that sort of field knowledge of the actual subject, which I think again is another really important point, isn't it? I mean, Jari and Kaisa, I guess sort of when you're doing your hide photography and you're telling, you're explaining to people how these birds behave, it allows them to get shots they perhaps wouldn't otherwise get if you can anticipate what behavior might come next.
Yeah. I think it's always important to know how the birds are behaving, or it doesn't matter if it's bird or mammal. When you go to hide, it makes the photography much easier if you know how they behave and what might happen next, so you can predict what happens next. And that's what we do. We try to tell people, but also what we do is that we recommend to stay in hide at least 2 days. So there's a learning curve also. So when you go first time in a hide, you probably don't know what happens, how, even though you have been a lot of in a hides, it's a new species, you don't know how they behave. But after 1 day or 2 days or night, then you know what to expect, and you can plan the pictures more and try to do something more artistic and something else than
something different.
Yeah. Let me catch up with a couple of comments before we get on to talk about the prize quickly as well. So Martin, hi Martin. He says congratulations. I think that was probably a comment for Jomtup's picture, but I'm sure it goes for you as well, Irma. Aaron Todds said congratulations, Irma. Winning is becoming a habit for you. It's a wonderful image and deserving of the Gold Award winner.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And well, you'll remember Aaron's amazing pictures with the lights reflecting with the water birds that he does. So we might see one of those later. And Ben Pullitz is on. He says, hi, Jari, Kaisa and Rob. Hi, Ben. Hope you're
well.
Ben.
Hello, Ben. Hi.
Hello.
So you very, very kindly sponsored this category with a wonderful prize, which is photographing eagles in the autumn in Finland. So why don't you just explain, a little bit more about that? Because obviously this is something that Irma is now going to have the benefit of.
So Irma, have you been before to Finland?
Oh, in Finland? Yes, we were in Finland.
So we invite you to Finland to photograph golden eagles with us. It's Golden Eagles in Autumn photography tour. So everything you just fly into Oulu, and we will pick you up from the airport, and everything is included. Accommodation, food.
And how?
No, but you fly to Oulu, and we pick you up from the airport, and
and how days?
How many days is that?
If I remember correctly, there's 3 photography days.
It's 3 days, I think, isn't it? Yeah.
3 days. Yeah. 3 days in our Golden Eagle hide in autumn.
Yeah.
So it will be autumn colors. Normally the territorial couple will be there, and the young one from this year. And it's also a good time for the sparrowhawk chasing the jays. So it's a lot of activity there.
Oh, that's nice. We can fix later together, because my husband is a photographer. Oh,
got some water.
Is
that better?
Because a little better. Okay.
Brilliant. Well, we'll put you in touch directly, and you can organise those. But I have looking at if people haven't looked at Jari and Kaisa's website, FinNature, there's a link on the website. But go and have a look, because it's not the only tour you do, is it? So you do all sorts of things. So amazing stuff. So do go and have a look at that. I'm tempted with the autumn eagles myself.
Yeah, you should come. Actually, it's a very nice time of the year.
Well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that, because
I think I will be guiding it. Yes, sure.
Yeah.
So
if I remember correctly, it's Jari's true.
Yeah. So let's talk about that, and maybe we can all go.
Yeah,
quite good.
We can all come.
Exactly. Could do with a few days away. Irma, well, thank you very much for coming on. Let's just, as nice as it is, let's just stop sharing that screen and bring you up bigger on the screen. Let's just check for any more.
Okay, we will fix later.
Comment coming in. Yeah, we'll fix it. I'll put you all in touch so you can organize the details. But but thank you very much for coming on again. It's been lovely to talk to you again and share the experience with your image. And so it's a fantastic picture. And I said this is becoming a real habit for you. Winning. You seem to have whatever it is. You've got the secret sauce, haven't you? That's what it is. Got the secret photography sauce.
Yes, I think Hungary is a wonderful place, for photography. So I think Irma knows the good places, obviously.
Brilliant.
And
Irma, lovely to talk to you. Yeah, lovely to talk to you, and thanks very much for the time to come on. And I'll let you get away because I know that time's a bit pressing for you. So and I'll put you guys in touch, and you can sort out the price. So brilliant, lovely to talk to you again, and thanks for the support for the competition. And we'll talk to you again soon, no doubt. Okay.
Okay. Bye, Irma.
Bye.
Right, now where does that leave us? That leaves us with let me just go to the videos now. Where are we? Come on, there we go. Right, that leaves us with starting with the Founder's Choice. So Founder's Choice Award winner, you're on next. So my Founder's Choice for light is I love this image. Nikki.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm doing very well indeed, thank you. Delighted to be here, very honoured to be chosen, so thank you very much.
Good. Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's a fantastic picture. Let me just bring that up. I'll share the screen again. No, I'll move it onto the right picture because I'm all a bit back to front now. There we go. Right, let's share that screen. Don't want to give the game away with others, do I? Right, come on. That one. There we go. Yeah, I mean, the mood in this is just, that's what I love about this picture. I like images that tell stories and sort of elicit a sort of an emotional response in the viewer. And when you can do that, I think you're onto something, really quite wonderful. And people know I love birds anyway. It's a real passion for me. And I love this species too. But I think this just sort of says so much about where it lives, and where it nests. And it's done. I mean, I've seen thousands of pictures of fauna, but I think this is just so atmospheric. It's really, really beautiful. Kaisa.
Yeah, it is really beautiful picture. Congratulations, Nikki. It's kind of fairy tale, coming from the fairy tale. It's like somehow unreal picture, and the light is handled so nicely in here. It creates a fairy tale feeling. That it's amazing. It's great.
Yeah.
Great. Like Rob said, atmospheric picture.
Yeah, Jari.
Yes, lovely picture, Nikki. Congratulations. Yes. I love the light and the rain. And light with the rain is always nice combination. And I like the lines surrounding the Fulmar there. So it is a beautiful picture. You definitely deserve. We did like this too, Rob, but this is obviously your choice now. We did like this picture.
Yeah, no, exactly. What happens is that the judges sort of narrow them down, and then I make my selection from from there. But this stuck out to me anyway. I mean, it was one of my favorites because I love the atmosphere of it. I like images that create this sort of atmosphere. In fact, Lawrence Doherty's just made a comment in the in the comments. He says, "Stunning shot, love the mood and atmosphere. It's like an oil painting," and I think that's a really it's a really very it's really very observant. Actually, that sort of oil painting feel is exactly what I'm trying to get to. It's art. And this is what this competition is all about.
I like the idea that it's common bird in a way, so it's not like a really, really rare thing what you have to photograph, but it's quite common.
But depends where you live.
Even though, but in some regions it's
I know.
It's not common in my garden.
No, obviously not in all the places, but that's with all the birds, but it's not the thing like some other species where we always know that people have traveled because of that species to take the photos. So it's something else what people are not that keen on photographing.
So Nikki, why don't you tell us where you took it and the inspiration behind it?
Sure. Well, I live in the beautiful Orkney Islands, latitude 59, so quite far north. I do love fulmars. I love them very much. They're quite common here, yes. When they have bred, they will, as you know, they will leave the nest site, they will go off, they will travel for a few months, at least that's what happens here. And then they will return, usually, it seems to me, just before Christmas. So I decided that I would go and try and find some, do a bit of, I was actually looking to practice some flight photography, as I hadn't done any for a while. And there's a place in the northwest of Orkney called Northside, where there is a deep, deep cleft where the sea comes in. It's actually the longest one on the island. We call them geos here. And the fulmars love it here. There are always loads and loads of nests, lots of fluffy chicks in the summer. And it goes from north to south. And in the winter, as in Finland, you know, the sun is extremely low in the sky. I guess maybe you don't have the sun at all in winter, you two, I don't know. In deepest winter, it's only 10 degrees above the horizon, so very low in the sky. So normally, when I'm getting my flight photography, if the sun is out, I can get the cliffs in shadow. So this is kind of what I was after. So I had the camera settings all organized for that. And it was one of those gorgeous winter days where it was sunshine and showers. The rain was just soft, beautiful island light. And I turned around and there was the shot. And it was just one of those moments. Really, at the time, I didn't realize what I'd got, you know, until I'd got home. But this is just exactly the sort of thing that I love to take. Very atmospheric, telling the story. I think I seem to remember calling it Fulmar in Wonderland or Fairyland or something.
Something like that, wasn't it? Yeah.
That sort of feel. And I'm very influenced by the Dutch masters. So the kind of chiaroscuro effect, you know, with the light and the dark. So, you know, I was thrilled to find it on the back of my camera. Delighted.
I mean, this is exactly the sort of thing that I like to do. You know, I like to use this, you know, these sort of high contrasted scenes, you know, to pick out details and give the viewer just I think what this does, it gives the viewer just enough, and then you know where it is, but there's a lot left to the imagination as well. But it tells that story. I think it's really cleverly done. You know, the use of light here is perfect.
Thank you. I was lucky that this particular fulmar wanted a rest, you know, because the rest of them were just flying around. So, you know, I could see that there was, you know, possibly something nice going to happen. And I like that the grasses are just, you know, the sun has just caught the edge of the grasses as well. But fulmars are popular here. It's a very windy place where we live. And, you know, as you know, the more the wind, the more the fulmars love it. So...
But I think this is also, you know, a really good picture to make the point that you've chosen the right category to enter with it, because it is all about the light. You know, and that's a really important thing to remember when you're entering photography competitions, is to think really carefully whether the image actually fits the category that you're looking at. Because sometimes you'll find that images don't fit any of the categories that you know in a competition. And maybe save it for something else. But I think this is, you know, the category's light. This is a perfect example of using light in an artistic way to create something quite special. So yeah, it's a really good example. So a couple more comments coming in. Bianca Blanc, hi Bianca. Amazing picture, so beautiful. Congratulations, Nikki. And Ben Pullett says, lovely image. What time of day was it taken?
This must have been, I'm going to say, probably close to midday-ish, something like that. Because in the depths of winter, the sun rises at 9 and sets at 3. So we don't get very many hours for photography in the winter. But, you know, just having the backlit rain was just such a bonus. It was very lucky.
It's a rare event, that, isn't it? Yeah. And Simon Carter's on. Hi, Simon. I actually met Simon this week. We bumped into each other down in Somerset. So photographing the same thing. So hi, Simon. I hope you're well. He says, beautiful shot, Nikki.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
It's lovely. Let me, as nice as it is, and it is a stunning image, let's just stop sharing the screen. Let's bring you up bigger. Nikki, thank you so much for coming on and having a chat and sharing that with everybody. You know, that really is a very special image, and it's one that just stood out to me straight away when I was going through all the all the submissions. I just thought, no, that's that's got a tick from me for sure. So it's a fantastic picture. And of course that means you go through to the final at the end of the year as well. So that image will be considered along with everything else that picks up a prize for the WildArt Photographer of the Year. So yeah, thank you very much for coming on and sharing that with everybody.
Thank you so much for inviting me on. I'm honoured to be here. Thank you. Thank you all.
It's been really good to talk. So Nikki, thanks very much. And yeah, we'll talk again soon, no doubt.
I hope so.
Okay. Right. Cheers then. Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Nikki.
Right, which brings us on to bronze. So let me find the right place again. Right, here we go. Get the right video. Right, okay. So bronze award winner, you're up next. So our bronze award winner for light is... Johan, hi. I can't, you're muted. Let me see if I can unmute you. Hold on. See if I can unmute your mic. You're fine. We had a good chat in the green room. There you go. Yeah, so we were having a good chat in the green room, so I know your mic works.
Yeah.
So we finally got you on.
Yeah, third time. What is it? Third time lucky.
Third time lucky. Yeah, you're out in the. I think you were out in the field last time, and the time before you had an issue. You had a memory issue.
Yeah, old age.
Yeah, but you're not as old as me. But anyway, let me bring that image up on the screen and move that on. There we go. And Jari, Kaisa, and I will have a quick chat about it, and then we'll come and have a chat to you about it. Right, here we go. Share that. Kaisa.
Yeah, congratulations, Johan. This is lovely picture. Again, it shows really good handling of light. I think it's artistic. Obviously, it's I don't know. I love it. I love the colors. I love this kind of simplicity but artistic way to handle the photography. Yeah.
This is another one of those images, isn't it, that we were talking about with Irma, when you think that a majority of them are going to get the delete treatment, but every now and again you get an absolute keeper, don't you, like this?
Yeah. And it's what we talk with Irma, is that it's not easy to take this kind of pictures. It is quite often.
Yeah, it's a bit hit and miss sometimes.
Yeah. You need a delete a lot.
Yeah, but the more you do it, the more keepers you get. I find. I work a lot like this. In fact, the last image, which was a winner, was also something similar with ravens in Finland.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Did you remember the fighting ravens? Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, it's I use this technique a lot with longer shutter speeds and so on. So I find the more you practice it, like with everything else, the more lucky you get, or whatever. The more keepers you get, at least.
Yeah.
Can you reveal what was the shutter speed here, Johan?
Actually, I checked before because I suspected that might be a question. So it's one because I had another picture, I think, as well. I think this was 1/25.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to guess about 1/20th of a second.
Yeah.
Sort of playing around with this sort of thing myself. And actually, the longer the shutter speed, sometimes the more artistic and the more weird, out there, the results can be. So the more deletes you're going to get, but actually it's a really good thing to experiment with. Yeah,
it is.
I think the key when you take these kind of images, you have to get something reasonably sharp. It's easy that everything just becomes like a total blur. You have to get something reasonably sharp so you can see what it is. And
I think that's the secret, isn't it? You need to be able to instantly recognize what the animal or bird or whatever is, but you're also introducing that sort of dynamic element to the shot, aren't you? And this is exactly what's gone on here. So presumably from one of your many trips.
This was in 2019 in the Kalahari.
Okay.
So it was actually the last day, if I remember correctly, of the trip, and we were going back to Tverivieren, which is like one of the entry gates to the Kalahari Transfrontier Park. And we were going back to camp, and we found these springbok near a waterhole, together with a few black-backed jackals. And my thought was, obviously we have the setting sun, so we position the vehicle so we shoot straight into the sun, and it's a semi-desert, so you have all the dust. And I suspected that when you had the springboks and the jackals at the same time near the waterhole, you're bound to have some kind of action happening, because they're quite skittish, these, especially when it's getting dark and all that. So, and it didn't take long until the jackals did some kind of mock attack or whatever, and these just panicking. And then I was ready. I always have my the shutter speed, the priority mode on something like 120, 130. So I was sort of ready for this shot. Because I know it was going to, it kicks up a lot of dust, sun straight into the camera, and so on. So I was sort of planning a bit ahead, and I think it's often key. You have to plan, you have to be proactive, not just reactive. Just act, because then it's too late most of the time.
I think that's another really good point, isn't it? That a lot of these shots that we see and do well in the competition they don't just happen, and they you don't just sort of stumble across them. You're anticipating, and you're planning these things out, and some of these shots just take weeks and months to actually get. And I think that's what a lot of people don't realize. Yes, there is the odd shot here and there where somebody's got lucky, they've been in the right place at the right time, and they've made the most of that situation, which is also a skill, is making sure you make the most of a situation when it occurs. But many more are from people that work with the animals over and over and over again, go back in and repeat, and are very ready for this sort of situation. So
Johan, Johan, I hope you don't mind me saying, I think this was one of our very favorite, and this could have been winning image, Do you have any more space on the top of the picture, or is this so tight?
I don't. I don't. It's tight.
Yeah, I know. We did talk about that, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah.
Oh, this is such a lovely image. Do you have a zoom lens or fixed lens? What do you use?
No, this is fixed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons.
Yeah.
And also, you never know. Even if you plan and you try to predict what's going to happen, you never know really which way they're going to run. And it happens very, very fast, very often.
Of course. Yeah.
But I know what you mean.
This is a mistake that I make a lot, actually, with birds in particular, is I never give it enough space when the action happens. And of course, what you want to get in as tight as possible a lot of the time, but of course, then you don't give them the space for this action to take place in. And of course, you clip a wing or this, and you go,
very easily.
It's a really common problem, I think. Something what at least I do try to say to all the groups, that remember that the bird size is so
give it a bit more space.
And when they open the wings, it's totally different size and the space.
I do it all the time. Will I ever learn? Probably not.
But that is actually one reason why we love zoom lenses. It's great that you are able to give more space, to your subject when something happens. Fixed lenses, you always with that fixed length of it, But with the zoom lens, you can, in a quick situations, also you're able to give more space if needed.
Yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? It's horses for courses, as they say, and there are so many advantages to primes, of course, not least of which is sort of light gathering capabilities of them. But let's not go into that here. That's a whole discussion we could talk all night about. That.
I know.
Probably will.
Yeah.
Johan, it's nice to get you on eventually. And have a good chat about this. And no, it's an amazing picture. You've been submitting some really beautiful work into the competition. And I said I do. That shot of the ravens in particular, which is in the first book, isn't it? It's in the book. In fact, did you buy the book? I can't remember. Have you got?
No.
Because you've got a copy. You've now got a copy arriving.
That's I don't know if I had another picture of the caracal as well.
Yes, you did.
In the book. I don't know.
You did. Yeah,
I don't know if it's in the book or not.
I can't remember now. You should do. I put it together. But your ravens are definitely in it. They definitely are.
All right.
And talking about the book, actually, book one, we're using the book this year to, this is the physical book one, to raise money for Georgina Statler's project. How they want this? She's trying to raise money to buy a wetland close to where she lives, which is a really important site for breeding Australasian bittern, amongst many other things that they want to protect there. So she's raising money. So I'm donating money from every book that's sold. I've reduced some of the prices for the postage to try and make it a little bit more affordable for people who live outside of the UK. I've got free postage in the UK as well. So, if you haven't got a copy of that, go on the website and buy one, and I'll donate £10 for every copy sold to Georgina's cause. And in fact, I will after we've done after we finish the show, I'll put the link in the show description, because if you've enjoyed the broadcast and got something out of it, go and donate £1 or $1 or €1, whatever currency you use to the cause. It's a direct donation link, so WildArt isn't involved in that at all. You just go and donate some money to that cause. She's doing fantastic stuff there, and I really want to try and help her out, with reaching the target by the end of the year, to buy that wetland and make sure that's protected forever, because land ownership is the only real way for conservation. I think it's a really important cause. So yeah, go on and there's a whole. If you go onto the website and go onto the conservation section on the website, there's all the links and the live that I did with Georgina explaining it all as well. So you can watch that. So go and have a look at that. Anyway, sorry, that was me going off on a tangent, but I think it's important. Let's just stop sharing that screen for a minute. Johan, thank you very much for coming on. It's good.
Thank you.
To get you on to talk to you about your amazing picture. So, thank you very much, and thank you for your support for the competition.
Thank you.
Good to chat, and we'll talk to you again soon, no doubt. You keep on entering stuff.
Hopefully.
And I'll sort the book out with you, I'll sort out getting that to you, shortly.
Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Johan, lovely to talk to you, and hopefully talk again soon. Okay.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, Johan.
Bye. Thanks.
Right, which brings us on to our final discussion of the evening and our final winner. Let me just get the right video. I will share the commended and the highly commendeds afterwards. I've got videos for those. I did forget to do that once. So don't let me forget to play those before we
try to remind you. We try to remember to remind you.
Yeah. Remind Rob, play the video. Right. Anyway, so Silver Award we're on to now, aren't we? So Silver Award. So Silver Award winner for light is. Good evening.
Hello, hi.
Thanks for waiting. I told you it might be a while when we were in the green
That's
room.
all right. That's fine. No, that's fine. My son has been playing football with me while I've been waiting. So.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad you made use of the time. I hope you're not sweating too much. It's a bit warm.
I had the fun like this, watching as I was playing with you.
Oh, good stuff. Multitasking. I like it. I like it.
No, it's an honor to be amongst such talented photographers. Amazing.
Oh, it's a great picture. Let's bring that up, because I know there's somebody sat to the left of Jari that was really taken with this. Yes. So let me just bring this up. Hold on. Oh dear. Right, share the screen again, Rob. Come on, you can do it. There we go. So come on, Kaisa.
Yeah, I really love this picture. So congratulations, Mustafis. I think we have seen, or in light category, there was so many orange pictures in a way, because light is often seen as a sunset light. Yes. And this was something really, really different. It wasn't this orange sunset, sunrise thing, but more like night feeling, purple. And like I said before, I love silhouettes. So I did love this picture.
Thank you.
Good. Yeah. Jari.
Yes, congratulations. This is lovely image, you know. It's there is a beautiful night atmosphere in the picture, and it's not easy to get it, I'm sure. Although Rob was saying that it's very common subject, but I haven't seen before these kind of pictures of the red deer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming this is Richmond Park.
It is,
and yeah, you know, people that know Richmond Park will know that you know, it's not a difficult subject to photograph. What's different about this is that most of the images that you see, you know, are with warmer tones, because you know, this, I'm assuming it's rutting season, so it's going to be early autumn, so you're going to be getting a bit of color in the, you know, in the bracken and the trees and what have you. So you see a lot of those sort of bellowing red deer, misty mornings, quite warm tones to the images, and this is different because of the cooler tones that you've got, and that, I think, is certainly what made it stand out, you know, for you two guys, and that's why it's different. And the other thing is that I would imagine the ISO setting is quite high, because there's a reasonable amount of noise, you know, in the image. I really like the fact you weren't tempted to turn to Topaz or whatever other noise reduction software you can get your hands on, and try and remove it, because in some instances, and we've seen this with other pictures, you know, there've been 2 or 3 in the competition that we've talked about before, where, you know, I can think of Trey Anfield's lion shaking off the water, for example, which I think was one of the very early categories we did in the first competition. And there was Fred von Winkelmann's, I think it was his elephants that were backlit by a truck or by one of the other guiding vehicles going behind the elephants, and he was sort of leaning out of the side of and that was really noisy as well. But that added to the atmosphere, and I think this is another one of those images which, if you tried to take it out, then you would have lost something.
So. No, I'd agree. Yeah, I actually I like the fact that it is quite grainy. I do think it adds to the whole atmosphere of the image, definitely.
Yeah. So explain a little bit to everybody sort of how you took the image and sort of the, you know, the thinking behind it.
Sure. So this was taken last fall, last autumn, early October, during the rutting season, and I got into the park before dawn. So it must have been about 5 a.m, and it was pitch black. And I think, very much like what you've said, I've seen many images of bellowing stags in a kind of orange setting, and I wanted something different. I'd been going to the park for about a week trying to get something a bit different, a bit unique, and there was an area of kind of bracken where this alpha stag was constantly bellowing, and I dared not enter his zone because I was, he was Yeah, he was, he was pacing up and down. So I kind of waited. That particular day, he seemed a bit distant. So I thought, I'm going to take my chance. I entered the bracken, and what I wanted to do is I knew where the sun would rise from, and I wanted to have the stag to create the silhouette. I was kind of started to circle around him. I could hear him in the distance, and then what actually had happened is another stag started to approach, and I heard him about 20 meters away, and I thought, oh my god, I'm between two stags here that are trying to compete. So I actually I climbed up a tree. It was pitch black. I couldn't see anything. All I could hear was the stags, and I got it on my phone where I can, and I'm recording these two stags, and they're bellowing at each other. And I think what they do is during the rotting season, their throats, they kind of testosterone injects into them, and their throats double in size, and so they kind of test each other out with their bellows. And I kind of waited for him to move away. Then I found a position. It was still dark, pitch black. I couldn't see anything. I just could hear the stags, and I knew where the sun was going to rise from. We're talking now. This is around about 6:15. So just after dawn. The sun hasn't risen yet, and I positioned myself. I really couldn't see. I could hear him, and I used my telephoto to try and see if I could find him, and I did, and I found him pacing up and down, bellowing, kind of warding off any potential stags that might try to take his harem. And then my ISO setting, I knew had to be crazy because it was almost pitch black. So my ISO here is actually 51,200.
Right.
All right.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy ISO.
Yeah. What camera? What
And-
camera are you using?
So I was using I'm using a Fuji
Right.
T3. So yeah, and I knew shutter speed. Obviously I couldn't go for a high shutter speed. So this was actually taken at 1/30th, and I knew
Yeah,
that
you
only
did
way I
well.
could take this shot. The only way I could take this shot is when he paced up and down, and he'd stop, and he'd bellow, and he'd kind of ward off all the other stags. And I knew I just had to time it right. And he stopped, and he bellowed, and then I took it. The sun hadn't risen yet, so what we're seeing here is just the first kind of rays of light, as just after dawn, kind of catching the fog. It was really foggy, and it kind of gave that nice atmospheric. So this is actually, it is in the dark. So,
Wow.
so it does have that atmosphere, yeah. And so yeah.
Do you know, and this is a great example of what I try to say to people as well, is never be afraid of, the ISO settings, no matter how, because you just never know. It's much better to have a noisy image that you might discard and say it doesn't work. At least you have that choice. If you don't take it, you haven't got that choice. So try and do something different like this. I think, that's what makes images stand out.
Yeah, I wasn't sure when I saw the LCD. I knew I got it, and I knew it was pretty sharp, to be honest with you, for 1/30th. It's when I looked at my screen. In fact, I almost actually overlooked this because I just thought, no, that was a crazy shot. and then I went back to it, and I said, oh, no, actually, this can work. So yeah.
Yeah. Do you know? And I said competitions are all about doing something a little different. As I said, I have seen a million images of stags in Richmond Park, but this is because you were bold and you did something different. That is why you are here talking to us.
Thank you.
Now.
Thank you. Thank you.
And that's what I would say to people. Common subjects can still work, can still do well in competitions. You just need to go about capturing them in different ways. It's like waterbirds. In fact, Aaron, I mentioned Aaron Todd before. He's just said congratulations. This could easily have been the gold winner. The foliage at the image frame, top of the image frames it nicely. But he's a good example of using common water birds, but in different lighting situations. So he's got those lovely reflected lights, and you've seen some of his work. That's another good example, of doing something different with a common subject. And I think, because the more you work with a subject, the better you get to know it, and the more experimental you can become.
Yeah,
I think that's
I think it's about, that's when you can be more risky, because you've got your shots that you kind of, all the common shots, and then you think, well, I don't want to take that shot again. I want to really try and do something different.
Yeah,
so yes,
absolutely. Yeah.
Mm.
So Bianca Blanc, she says, wow, this is one for the on the wall, very big. It looks like a painting. Love the
thank
realm. And she also says about Johan's picture, I'm sure, a very unique picture. Love the light and the movement in it. Aaron says also, this is a learning lesson for me in that high ISO image can be successful in a competition. Yeah. I said sometimes that sort of noise or that grain, and I think cameras are getting so much better at dealing with these low light situations now. I mean, you think 10 years ago, if you tried to do this, I mean, it would be horrible. Not necessarily because of the noise, but it wouldn't have been sharp, because they just couldn't cope with that level of light. They've come on so much that actually you can now get away with things like this at times. And I think that that really adds to the mood and the atmosphere. So go for it.
I think it creates the artistic feel. It's kind of one way of doing artistic pictures, using really high ISO and get that graininess when it is a real the right picture, right situation, where it suits.
Yeah, and I think this is one of those situations. And I said the cooler tones in the image make it work. I think if it was a warmer toned image, that noise, that grain wouldn't work so well. It's because it adds to the atmosphere of the cooler tone, which isn't something that people are used to seeing with this species and this shot. Which it's all about the autumn color, so you get those warm tones. That's what people expect to see, and they're not seeing it with this, which I think is what makes it what it is. And that grain just adds to the atmosphere. So yeah, well done, fantastic.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Let's stop sharing that picture for a second. Thank you very much for waiting, and good use of the time to play football with your son. Yeah, I like
that. Thank you very much. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you.
Good stuff. Yeah, well, thanks for coming on and sharing the story. Ben Pullett says, amazing stag shot, 1/30 of a second, even cooler. Tripod, he says. No, well, you were up a tree, weren't you?
Yeah, I came down from the tree now.
Oh, did you?
I hardly use a tripod for my shots. I just find it limits me, and I usually try to go without a tripod. In fact, I don't think I've ever used a tripod.
Yeah, do you know what? In fact, Josh and I had a discussion on one of the podcasts about this, and I said, I do have tripods. I do use them at times. I do use them for plants and that sort of thing when I want critical focus on something and it's not moving around. But I find them, like you said, I find them very limiting in other situations where you've got these dynamic subjects. I just find by the time you faffed around with a tripod, you've missed a shot, and I'd much rather handhold.
I would have missed a shot, definitely. And I think nowadays with image stabilization, you can get away with just about with 1/30th.
Yeah, I think so. And it depends what you shoot. I mean, you guys with OM System, they've got pretty good.
It's amazing.
Image stabilization, haven't they?
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, brilliant. Lovely to talk to you. And thanks for coming on. Well done for an amazing shot. Mohammed Hashmi says, stunning. Even a novice can appreciate the beauty of the pic. Well done. So yeah, amazing shot, and deserved silver award winner. So congratulations for that. And thanks for coming on and spending the time and talking to us about it.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Great stuff. All right. Well, I will sort out the prize with Cotton Carrier, because your prize is a Cotton Carrier harness and camera harness and binocular harness. So I must mention that. Thanks to them for sponsoring that prize, and I'll sort that out with them. They're normally pretty good. You'll get that fairly swiftly, I'm sure. So brilliant, lovely. Thank you very much for coming on, and no doubt we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
So nice to be able to talk to everybody who's won a prize.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah,
very good.
So it's a rare event to get everybody on, actually.
Yes.
So to get a full house is really good. Anyway, after all that, I need a cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers to all the winners.
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know what's in that mug, Jari.
It's Saturday evening anyway.
It's not tea. I know it's not tea. Right, I mustn't forget to play these other videos because I know that some people are on waiting to see them. So, and they're very important. There's some there's some fantastic images in here as well. Oh my God, this was such a good category. I just loved it so much. I mean, the people that entered this. I mean, there were so many images that didn't even make the top 100 that were fantastic, and you think it's so difficult to sort them all out. But anyway, so I tell you what I'll do is I'm going to play the highly commended images now for everybody. So yeah, enjoy this selection, and the commended images will follow after that, but we'll get to that. But anyway, here are the highly commended images for our light category. I said you're going to love these, so yeah, enjoy. Oh my God.
Yeah, there's lovely stuff there.
Yeah.
What a diverse selection of stuff, both in subjects and styles and use of light. And it's a masterclass, isn't it? That, you know, when you look at the selection of images like that, of how people go about their photography. Oh, clever stuff. Clever stuff. You know, when I look at these things, I think, how the hell am I going to keep up with all that stuff in my own work, you know?
I know.
Kind of get that
It's
feeling.
very inspiring, but it's almost depressing, you know. Oh my God, people are taking so wonderful pictures, you know. I could stop taking photos.
Nah, we'll never do that. Enjoy it too much, Jari.
No. It's
never do that. But
it's
inspiring. Yeah. It is. Yeah. And there are various things in there you go, oh, I quite like that approach. Maybe I can, you know, maybe I can incorporate that in some of my own work in various ways. So
that's
you know, it's rather like the ISO setting thing, isn't it? Never to be afraid of really bumping it up, and you know, because you can always delete it if it doesn't work.
Yeah, that's true.
And the motion sense. Anyway, fantastic stuff. So we've got more to show everybody as well. There's some more amazing stuff to come. So let's show the commended images, because this is another amazing selection. So congratulations to everybody for the commended images, and I'll show these for you now. some familiar names in there and some new ones too, which is always good to see. So well done, everybody. That is, another amazing selection of images. And, for those that perhaps submitted and didn't make the top 100, honestly, it was such a competitive category. The standard was so high that, it was difficult to make that selection. Honestly, it was a joy to go through those images. There's such a high standard. There's really makes me want, the sort of thing that gets me out of bed in the morning, is to go through all this sort of stuff and just be inspired. And by the way, people approach their craft, I just think it's incredible. So well done to everybody who entered that category. Some stunning work. Yeah, some really good stuff. I mean, it was a pleasure for you guys to judge, wasn't it?
It was.
Yes. Yeah.
It's so nice to see the pictures, and it wasn't an easy task to do.
No.
There were so many nice pictures and a lot of discussion, about the pictures, which ones we should select and which are the winners. It really was a difficult task because there were so many different pictures and so many different kind of ways to handle the light and the artistic part. So
and everybody's different. I mean, we all look at things, in a subjective way, don't we? And we all have different.
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
Thank you also to Josh and Michael. So Josh Galicki and Michael Sneddick, who helped out, with the judging in this category as well. So thanks to those guys. And that was a very interesting discussion we had that day when we looked at all the sort of the images that we'd narrowed it down to. To make those selections and the discussions that we have. I love those discussions because it's, I love getting other people's perspective on photography, particularly when we're talking about photography, the artistic side of photography, which obviously we are with this competition. So it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see how people finds the pictures, and especially when we are not from the same country, we are all over the world, basically, to hear how people react to different pictures, because obviously it affects where we come from. That's how we see the pictures.
It's true. Exactly. It is like you said, Rob, it's very subjective, and it depends so much on photographers' own experiences, what you have photographed before yourself, and if there's some pictures, wow, this is what I would really like to have taken myself, and it's a strong feeling which comes from some of the pictures, wow, this is a stunning photo.
Absolutely. But as I said, it comes down to, I don't think, photograph common subjects or rare subjects. I don't think that's part of it. I think the whole thing about is what's the artistic merit of the image, and that's what we're concentrating on in this competition. It's the artistic merit. It's not a question of, well, it's so rare to get this. Well, it may well be. It's nice to see it, but you'll tend to find those sorts of things are the more literal entries anyway. And I think when people start working with subjects again and again and again, and we see this, with some of the people that do well regularly, the subjects are the same, or they're the same sort of category of animal. There might be water birds, they might be insects, they might be plants, but people work, with these. I mean, it might be dragonflies, for example. Like I was photographing earlier this week, which is a totally amazing experience, which I won't go into now. But and you think, the work from people like Simon Carter and these sorts of people that, their specialization is obviously insects, and that's what they concentrate on. So they're doing it again and again and again. And Aaron with his water birds we talked about, and obviously the red deer in Richmond Park. They're a very, very common subject. But if you go about it in a slightly different way, and you keep on going back and you do it again and again and again, and you start expanding your portfolio and expanding your idea base, this is where these sort of standout images come from. But again, like Nikki, I'm sure she's photographed fulmars again and again and again. But then she's been in a situation where, the light and everything has come together, but she knows it so well. She's made the most of a situation. The real tragedy, I think, sometimes is when you see a photographer who's had an amazing situation, something that doesn't come around very often, and hasn't made the most of it. And that's sometimes a bit frustrating. But it's knowing your subject, I think, common subject. It's just the artistic merit of the image that we're interested in, and working again and again and again with subjects, I think, really gives you an edge. I really do. So anyway, let's just see if there are more comments to catch up with, but I think we'll wrap it up there. Aaron says, I adore Irma's commended image. She's such a talented photographer, so inspiring. Well, this is why, you know, photographers like Irma come up again and again and again in these lists, because they, you know, they go about things in a different way. You know, they have an eye for the artistic, I guess.
Yeah.
And when we're talking about light, there are so many ways that you can capture it. You know, taking control of that camera and having the vision. You know, some people just have a knack for it. You know, there are certain styles that do well in competitions anyway, and I think that's, you know, it's just the way it is. And and various competitions like certain styles, and another competition might like another particular style. So you might find that certain photographers do well in one and not well in the other. So but Rachel Piper's on. Hi Rachel. She says, congratulations to the winners, such beautiful images. Yeah, and there was one in there from Rachel as well, the swan with a, you know, with that sort of feather and frame with the head and everything. I really quite like that idea.
Okay, yeah.
Might nick that, Rachel. Try some of that sort of thing myself. A really good idea. But hang on the line, you two. We'll have a quick chat afterwards. But thanks very much for all the, you know, all the effort in terms of the judging and coming on and having a chat with everybody and sharing your views. And of course, thank you for the, you know, for the very generous prize. You know, I'll talk to you about that afterwards, but no, it's fantastic. And, you know, go and check out FinNature's site, everybody, because they've got some amazing tours and you know, on there. So it's not just the autumn eagles, all sorts of things. So go and check them out, because I'm sure they'd be delighted to welcome you to Finland. And they're fantastic hosts. So yeah, go and see what they've got to offer. Anyway, thank you two for coming on and helping out with all that. Let me just line up the outro. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. A couple of things before we go. Wet, the top 100 for that, I'm hoping to get that out before I go away, because I'm going away to Shetland in a few days. So early part of this coming week, I'm aiming to get that out. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Not going to commit to a day yet. I've got a lot to do. But yeah, in the next few days. Don't forget that the next category, which is airborne, that closes at the end of May. So when's that? Wednesday. So make sure you don't miss out on that one. That's a new category for this year. So that'd be a good one to get your teeth into. I'm interested to see what you've got for us for that particular category. And then the next category to close will be closing at the end of June, and that's color. So that's another one of my favorites, and another one a bit like light. You know, it's quite broad in its you know, in its description. So I'm quite looking forward to seeing how you interpret that one again this year. So don't miss out on that. But certainly airborne, you know, you've only got a few days left for that. So make sure you don't miss out on that one. What else have I got to say? Yeah, podcast, talked about that earlier. Don't miss the podcast. I'm hoping that Josh and I can get another one out before I go away. Might be able to record one in the next couple of days, but you know, they're getting, so thank you for all your lovely comments and suggestions on the podcast. They're appreciated. I think that's it. I'll stop rabbiting, and thank you all for watching. Don't know when the next live will be. I'll try and line something up in between the next awards presentation and do another interview or something like that. So I'll have a think while I'm away, and we'll try and line somebody up. So it's not so long in between broadcasts this time. So thanks for your time. Hope you've enjoyed all the images. Thank you for all your lovely comments. Don't forget, airborne closes on Wednesday, so don't miss that. I think that's it from me. So yeah, thanks very much. And we'll see you again. I'll line up the outro. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, we'll see you again next time.